Alright guys, here we have Hunger Games character tier list, because tier lists and shitposts are the only thing I do now. More machinimas are coming soon, I promise. I'm just lazy, and I just like doing these tier lists. They're fun to do. So this time it's Hunger Games. It's been a while since I watched the movies, and the movies were just kind of meh to me, but the books I enjoyed way more. So I'll just go through my selections. So I don't remember this cat, and this guy kind of looked familiar, but I don't remember what he did. Yeah. Could care less. I know a lot of people like Effie, but I'm just like, I don't really care. I don't really have like a strong dislike towards her, but she is probably my least favorite character. But that's the thing, I don't have like a strong dislike to any of the Hunger Games characters, which is honestly pretty good when you think about it. This guy, because he didn't do much. I know he did some in the first one, but he was like one of the game makers, and there was just tributes, just random tributes. So I have nothing against them. Just I could care less about them. Coin is a love-hate because I hate her, but like she was a good villain. Like she was fun to hate. So yeah. Okay tier is Brutus, I think his name was, the guy from District 2, because he was somewhat cool when he was on screen, but he wasn't on screen much. Same with this chick. I don't have a problem with her, but like she was barely on screen. And so was this guy, but this guy I think was the guy who like couldn't talk or something, so that was a kind of interesting thing. I only put this guy, what was his name again? I forget. I only put this guy up here because of the way he went out. Like, he got eaten by mutts for like 12 hours until Katniss shot him. So like that's just sad. Rest in peace, man. And then we have Analbaria. I think she didn't really do much, but she survived, so that's something. Chaff. Chaff was barely on screen, but I actually really liked him when he was on screen, like when they just had the little introductory thing. I wish he got a lot more screen time than he did, but next is Wyrus. She was fine. She didn't do much. Commander Paler, she's the commander now of the world at the end of the last book, so that's something. Annie was okay. Not much to say about her. And Katniss's mom, same thing. Good characters. I liked Plutarch. Plutarch was good. With being a spy and everything. Boggs was good. I was actually sad when he died. Johanna, I didn't like her in the second book, but I liked her in the third book. So, yeah. Good. I'm already on good too. Okay, Beatty. I liked Beatty. He was pretty much like Wyrus, but he was just better in my opinion, and he also survived, so we got to see him longer. I actually really liked. What was his name? I forget now. I know who he is. He was the other District 11 guy. Oh, what's his name? It's gonna bug me. Oh my god. Okay, let me go to another tab real quick. Oh, I can't. Okay. That's fine. I'll look it up once I go through everything else, but I liked him. He saved Katniss, and he was nice. Good job. Then Tigris. I could care less for her in the third movie, but I really liked her in the Coriolanus, however you say it, the Principal, Snow. I really liked her in Snow's book, for what they showed. And speaking of Snow's book, I'll get to that later. Mags. She was good. I liked how she stepped in for Annie, and she was just all around a nice person. So, Yeah. Great tier is Rue for obvious reasons, you know. She was like one of the best characters in the first movie. Prim was good. She didn't really have much to her on her own, but she was a good she was good development for Katniss, which is why she's up here. Peta. I really liked Peta in the first movie. He was good in the second movie. And then the third movie, I didn't really like him that much, just being honest with you. But I still think he's a great character overall. I can't really tell you why I didn't like him in the third movie or book. It's been like a year since I've watched it. But yeah. Gail. Gail was good, or great rather. I liked him. He was confusing at times, I wish they added a lot more to him than just being Katniss's love interest, but then he just gets pushed aside later. He did do some other things, but that was the main factor, and I wish he had more of a character outside of that. But for what we got, he was great, I guess. And then amazing tier. So these are my 4 favorite characters. Actually, there's a character who isn't even on here that would be in my top 5. So here's my top 5 favorite characters. Number 5, Finnick. Number 4, Haymitch. Number 3, Katniss. Number 2, Snow. And number 1, I'll get to number 1 after. But, okay, Finnick. I really liked Finnick. I just remember really liking him. I honestly can't really tell you why. I just remember really liking him and his personality. So yeah, Haymitch, I can actually tell you. So I just loved Haymitch's humor and just the fact that he was a mentor. He's seen all this shit before, and I just wish we got to see his game. Katniss. See, this is what I say when people say, "What do you mean? Rey? You're just hating on Rey because she's female." And I'm like, well, no. I go to Princess Leia, and the two most characters I go to refute that is I go to Leia and I go to Katniss, because Katniss is not a Mary Sue in the slightest. She actually has character flaws that you can relate to, and she has to go through struggles instead of just knowing things out of nowhere. I don't want to bring this to Rey, but basically, Katniss is what Rey should have been. Katniss is just an all-around great character. I don't think I really need to say any more. And number 1, or I guess number 1 on this list, is Snow. So, some of you may put Snow down here, but I respectfully disagree. I understand why you would put him here, and I would have probably put him there too if it wasn't for his standalone book. His fucking standalone book gave him so much character. So much character. And you got to see him morph into this twisted bastard, but you got to see his beginnings. So I actually began to sympathize with him. And then he turned evil. So, and then Lucy Gray, she's not on this list, and she was okay, just to bring her up a bit, but she was a great development factor for Snow, and his dynamic with Sejanus. That is great how they did with trees, with Sejanus's trees and whatnot. And speaking of Sejanus, he is it switches between him and Snow all the time. But right now, I'd say Sejanus is probably my favorite character. Honestly, I really loved Sejanus. He stood up against Dr. Gaul, who was a great villain, and he was a rebel, and he had backstory. It's so hard for me to remember all the finer details, but I can tell you when Sejanus died, that was the one death in this whole franchise that legitimately made me want to crawl up into a ball. So if that says anything, I don't know. But yeah, I do have to say that Snow's book is my favorite out of the franchise. Honestly, I prefer it more than the main books. It was such an interesting book to me, seeing the early days of Panem and what it was like. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. But I wish I could have gone more into detail. But like I said, it's been so long since I read the books. I'm gonna have to reread them again, and then maybe I'll do like an analysis on Snow and Sejanus if I feel like it. But yeah.